Hello family, welcome to Smart Hustle. I'm your coach for today's explainer, and I want to kick things off with a question that honestly might hit a little close to home. Why do so many of us dream about success, talk about it nonstop, visualize it, but never actually begin? You know, we all have these grand goals, but that gap between dreaming and taking that first real step, it's massive. Okay, let's dive into this. Why do so many incredibly ambitious professionals just completely paralyze themselves? Well, we tell ourselves we're waiting for perfect timing, right? Waiting until the bank account looks exactly right, or waiting for these flawless, golden opportunities to just drop right into our laps before we even think about taking action.
But what if the absolute biggest reason people stay stuck isn't a lack of resources? What if it's not bad luck at all? What if the core issue, the absolute deepest roadblock, is directly tied to the fear of starting small? Stay with me here, because today we are breaking down exactly why this fear holds us back, and more importantly, how we can absolutely crush it.
Section 1. The Myth of Big Beginnings. And this brilliantly illustrates the disconnect. So many people honestly believe success literally has to begin with fireworks, big money, massive opportunities, instant results. But the quiet reality? Actual growth starts incredibly small. It's the small savings, the small habits, the small skills. Because real momentum, it's never built overnight in some giant dramatic leap. It's built through micro actions. We're talking small savings, small daily habits, small skills, just repeated consistently over time. That right there is the unglamorous but totally real engine of momentum.
Section 2. How ego blocks progress. See, sometimes this fear isn't logical at all. It's deeply emotional. Be honest with yourself for a second. How often has your internal monologue sounded kind of like, what if I look unsuccessful? We worry that starting from the absolute bottom makes us look inexperienced. And man, we really dread facing the judgment of our peers.
And then there's the ultimate fear, right? What if I fail publicly? Since small beginnings don't usually look all that impressive right out of the gate, a lot of people just completely avoid starting altogether. They let their own ego quietly block their progress, choosing the comfort of doing absolutely nothing over the vulnerability of just starting small.
Section 3. The waiting trap. We use this very specific, almost predictable sequence of excuses. Step 1. We wait for confidence to magically appear. Step 2. We wait for a sudden lightning bolt of motivation. And Step 3. We hold out for perfect conditions. We use these to delay action, completely tricking ourselves into thinking we're just preparing. But guess what? Perfection rarely, if ever, actually arrives. Let's move to this and see how this builds, because it creates a pretty grim reality of inaction. On day 1, you're just delaying action, waiting for the right time. Months later, perfection still hasn't arrived, but you're still waiting. And years later, that initial chronic delay has slowly but surely decayed into heavy, heavy regret. Section 4. The power of compounding. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it shows what most people fundamentally misunderstand. Tiny actions map directly to massive future outcomes. A small financial investment, it grows exponentially over time. A small skill, it literally creates entirely new opportunities out of thin air. And a small disciplined habit can completely transform an entire future. So the crucial point is this: consistency is infinitely greater and infinitely more valuable than starting with a dramatic bang. It's the small, tiny things done day in and day out that ultimately yield massive, game-changing results.
Section 5. Every big success started small.
The truth is, almost every single massive success story you admire began from a place of really humble beginnings. Highly successful people started with very little money, very little experience, and frankly, very little confidence. But despite all of that, they chose to start anyway. This is perhaps the most critical mindset shift of our entire explainer today. Growth comes after action, not before it. You literally cannot grow into a success before you take the first step. Starting small is still starting, and action must always precede your growth. Now, I want to directly challenge you. What small action could improve your future if you started today? Like right now. Please don't wait for perfection. Take one small step immediately. And hey, I want you to share your commitment in the comments below. Let's actually hold each other accountable here. Because at the end of the day, small beginnings create massive futures.
that brings us to the close of today's explainer. But listen, your journey is just getting started. In our upcoming series, we're going to begin exploring specific money systems and financial growth strategies to help you build that massive future. Make sure you subscribe to Smart Hustle so you don't miss a thing. Take that small action today, and I will see you next time.